Drama is just what we do.
So join us as we begin to start ordering some chaos.
Which one to take? Route do I go? I don't know what I'm gonna do. Girls, please stop. Please, girls. Lord have mercy. Between the kids, the bills. Can't take this.
Welcome to Ordering the Chaos. I'm your host, Casey with the K. And today we have our panelists here, Dr. D, also Mr. Ricky J, and we have also a special guest, or two special guests, Mr. Marlon and also Mrs. Dayshell, and then my sidekick for today, Ms. Diana. So we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of this whole single parenting thing. Most people talk about the single mother aspect, but not the single father. So today, we got a treat for y'all. We're going to talk about both. So we usually get our questions and everything from the social media world, and so we just going to take some of those questions and dive in, and we hope that with this information that you guys can learn something and improve in your own personal situations. So the first question that we got was, what even qualifies a man or a woman to be considered a single father? And we'll start with you, Dayshell.
To me, it is when you do not have support from the other parent, whether physically, financially, being there, you don't have that support. So when everything is just on me alone, that's what qualifies me as a single parent.
Okay, awesome. Okay, how about you, Mark?
Well, I don't really feel like I'm a single parent because I co-parent. And like
Okay.
she said, we co-parent.
Okay. In that aspect of, that's really good because y'all co-parenting, but from the side of you being like a parent, a father with your child when you're not with her mom, like in that aspect, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, that's a question again. You said, what does it look like when
Yeah.
I'm by myself?
So, because I know that you guys co-parent,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of what it looks like when you're not with the mom. Because obviously when she's with you, it's just you and her most times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does that look like when, you guys are spending time together and everything?
So with me, when she comes to my house, it's just certain things that I want her to, like, I want to implement in her. Because, like, when she's over there, she's getting a different teaching. And when she's with me, she get a different teaching. And, like, I want her to be able to express herself and talk. Because, like, normally if I get on to her about something, like, she breaks down and she cries. And you can't do that, like, in life in general. And I always had that issue. So I kind of want to, like, implement other stuff that she might not get over there.
Okay.
So, but did you notice he never shifted from being a single parent to a single father? He stayed with the co-parenting mentality,
Yeah.
mindset, and just gave you a definition of the experience,
Right.
which I like.
Yeah.
So what you're not gonna do is shift my mindset on. I'm still not a single daddy.
I really don't feel like
Right.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I love it.
Right.
So are you saying that to be considered a single parent is the mindset? Because you're not with your kid's mom, your daughter's mom, but it's your mindset. You don't feel like you're a single parent because you co-parent with her.
Yes.
And for you, it's the mindset because he might be there in some areas, but he's still absent in others. So you feel like you're a single parent.
Mine, he's not there at all.
Exactly.
There's
Completely
no
absent.
phone calls.
Okay.
He recently, because of an issue with my son, he recently just this summer got him for about a month and a half, but prior to that, he hasn't seen him in almost 2-3 years. So there's no phone calls, there's no texts. We may get Christmas gifts, but he's not there. So even in relationship status, if I was in a relationship, it may have been a little different, or when I get married, that'll be totally different. But as far as their father not being there, it's just me. So they depend on me only.
Because you just made a point about when you go into a marriage to get a relationship. Can you be in a relationship and be a single parent? I just want to throw it in there. Can you be in can you have a whole other spouse and consider yourself a single parent? I just want to throw that out there.
No, not if they're not if they're there, not if you have that help. You're not single. You're in a relationship.
Some people say they are
So-
single
Yeah,
in a
some
relationship.
Saying if they're in the same household, but they're not doing anything but being in the same household, and not helping with finances, not, or anything like that, not really giving you support to the child in which you are rearing, is that you saying, but you still a couple? Is that correct?
No, let's go back, because nobody will be in my same household and not contributing. So I come with a package. I have two
Okay.
10 kids, so
Right.
we will not. No, you don't come in and not contribute.
Okay.
So to stay true to the segment, you cannot be in a relationship and call yourself single
I
parent.
don't think you
Okay.
can, because
Okay.
What you think about that, Marlon?
I really don't think you can if the other person's contributing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you have help.
Right.
So, no.
Well, today, that's what they call it for a lot of it. But generally, if they're separate and the spouse is helping with the kid, and you're going from house to house or home to home, and they consider themselves single parents. So is that y'all think that's incorrect?
I do. That would be co-parenting, because you
Co-parenting.
have that
Okay.
other help.
Gotcha.
I mean,
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
I
right,
understand.
because it is a lot of women
Yes,
that says, I'm a single mother, I'm a
Yes.
single mother, but the children father is involved in
Exactly.
helping financially, emotionally, and
Right.
physically.
Which-
So that's why I guess the question came, what qualifies it, because
Yeah.
I think it is known out there that people are calling themselves, a single father or single mother when
Yeah.
they have that help.
Right.
So they're looking at relationship status, marital status, and saying, I'm single if I'm not married.
Yeah.
Because I'm no longer with my kid's other parent.
Yeah. Not from the parent standpoint that both parents are engaged.
So
Right.
they're actually co-parenting.
Co-parenting.
Right.
They're not
So you're not a single
parents.
parenting.
Right.
Or your spouse is not deceased.
He ain't dead, he ain't dead.
But since we're going that way, 9 times out of 10 when we're hearing that's coming from the female voice. I'm a single parent. I'm a single parent. But why are you? And it's just the power away from the dad, because most females don't acknowledge that other party.
Yeah.
And that's just a little science. I'm not trying. But a lot of times.
No, that's fact.
It's-
It is.
For the majority, I feel for the majority they do. They consider themselves single parents.
Okay.
And the father is there, and in the child's life, and contributing financially, being there, giving the child some time. But they feel like, okay, I'm doing this alone. But no, you're not. And I like the way you redefine that, because that's been the thing. I'm single. I'm a single parent. And no, if someone is co-parenting, if they're helping you, even though you're not in the same household,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
it's not single.
And I'm glad we're making this very big distinguish.
Yes.
You're a single individual. You're not a single parent.
Amen.
That other party is there. So we need to
Absolutely.
acknowledge their role, because y'all are co-parenting, and that's
That
what
is
we
correct.
need to mature and get to a space of maturity that you still have the co-parent. There's still another party. You might be a single individual,
Right.
Yeah.
but you're not a single parent if that person is not deceased.
Yeah.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
Or absent.
No, if that person's not, because yet again, if that person's not present, because now you need to define it even further.
Yeah.
I'm not a single parent because the parent is not present.
Yeah.
Because you didn't make the child by yourself.
Right.
So if you're not co-parenting, then you can say that parent's not present, but you're not a single parent if the person's not in the ground.
Oh, okay.
So your definition of single parent is the other parent has to be dead.
Dead.
Like they can still be alive, walking this earth
Yeah.
in a whole nother country and have absolutely
Because they're not,
nothing to
you
do.
right, nothing to do, but you define them because they're not active, they're not present. They're still the parent, they're not actively involved.
He's getting down to the true
The
fact
true fact,
of
because
what a single
a parent is. Because you're diminishing that
Wow.
other voice of that child's life because you're saying they don't exist.
Yeah.
You have killed them.
Yeah. In your mind.
In your mind.
In
because,
your mind,
because
well,
your
they kill themselves.
That's
I'm just saying.
Themselves.
I'm just
They
saying.
the ones that disappeared.
Right.
Well, because not really disappear, but there's something in life that happened
Wow.
that y'all didn't stay together,
Right.
and because of where you are and how you view it, or where they are and how they view it, they're just in different spaces.
Yeah.
So we can't kill them all, but so we had to redefine what it looks like. Because we got to go back and translate to our children.
Right.
Because
Okay.
your dad's not actively present in your life. He exists.
So
And
what
he's
is
still your parent.
He's still your
what is
parent.
Still
your
your
status in that
Uh-huh.
situation? Because you're not really co-parenting because he's not there. If you're not a single parent, then what are you?
So I'm raising a child.
Independently.
Because you can't. I'm single
So you
raising
can't
children.
define that.
I'm single raising
you can't
children.
put a title on
You can't
it.
say that I'm a single parent. You're single raising children.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I
Okay.
would look at it. Single raising children.
Okay, but society makes it look like, okay, I'm a single
I'm a
parent.
single parent like the other person. But that's how, yet again, we want to go into systematical.
Right.
Register. That's how you're going to get all your benefits from this. You're going to get your food stamps,
Yeah, yeah.
child support.
Well, no, that boils down to status, your
Yeah,
marital
yeah.
status,
I'm-
whether you're single, married, divorced, or widow.
But
But that's
single,
systematic.
it's systematic. I'm putting single with
Yeah.
children, but
Yeah.
you're just missing that other person because for me to order to get child support, I gotta say that you're not present, you're not active. Because if you are giving and you are participating, they will not allow me to get assistance for my child. So I have to dismiss you as your role altogether for me to get onto a system.
Absolutely.
So now that's how we get caught up in I'm a single parent because the system puts us in that position.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Systematic.
And we run with it.
We run
and
with
go
it.
out with it.
That's
And
good.
then for the benefit of what I can get, but totally
Temporarily.
but totally dismissing this whole other role, this whole other person.
And I think that other person wants to participate, but I'm getting the assistance I need over here. Maybe. Let me say maybe. Let's go back.
Some situations.
It's not 100% one way.
Yeah.
But because I have assistance from somewhere else, I might dismiss the help or the maturity that person is growing into because I've become comfortable in this way.
Or if I'm not getting enough assistance from this one over here,
Well,
I'm on, and I get the more assistance with the systematic
Government.
Approach.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick that.
it works.
But it works for me.
And
guaranteed.
I'm about to say, there we go. It's a consistency piece in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's
Because
no
humans
question.
ain't no consistency. It's
That
not.
part.
I'm not going to question it. But let's go back to the people on the set because let's hear from y'all experiences.
Yes.
I know we kind of that's our rant.
Yeah.
I'm not a single parent. That's just my view on how I defined it.
Yeah, because
Right.
the government stuff is only financial.
Fine,
That's,
okay.
I'd rather them be there.
Okay.
I don't need your money.
Right.
That is priceless. You having your child's voice,
Okay.
that relationship. I can't pay for that.
Right.
Like literally,
Wow.
my kid's father owes me about $69,000 in child support, and I will dismiss this if you just pick up where we are now.
Can I tell you a sidebar? I'm 36 and my dad owed about 80,000 something. And my mom actually she went 4 years into it and cut it out because she was like, why am I going to ask for something
That you're never gonna
I'm not going to get back?
Yeah.
So I think
Release them.
Release,
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a releasing like.
But it was never about the money.
But I think
it's
that's
being
I
there.
honor
I'd
that.
rather- Yeah, just giving
I
me
honor
that
that.
break, picking them up, taking them, weekends.
But he
whenever.
made a very good point on things that he's instilling in his daughter, stuff that I can't teach you. You can go get a book and read it. It's only
Right.
being in that presence of that
Right.
individual
Yeah.
that
Right.
those values are birthed. So I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. That's good.
So is that something that you
Yeah.
would be willing to do in the future, is release him from his debt?
Oh, I've already released it. That's just the state.
she
I've
missed it.
already forgiven all of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
okay.
Interesting.
So I think the
So
point
that-
that add to so is it? Can you go back and close the case like release him?
It's not even really active.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not- yeah, it's
Okay.
nothing there pursuing or anything.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
I know some women probably watching like, girl, you stupid.
Absolutely.
So, but we gonna come right back, you guys. We're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna resume this single father, single mother topic.
As we travel through life, there are times we all could use a little help. However, as we search for the help we need, there are times we find ourselves at dead ends, stuck in the maze of life. With so much going on around us, moments like these may cause you to ask, who can you trust? Who can you believe in? Who can you depend on to provide real-life solutions that have been proven to turn you into a better you?
Here we go again. Welcome back to Order and Chaos. So before we went on break, we were talking about, well, you know what? You go ahead and take the thought.
So, because we were talking about dismissing the governmental assistance type of things. But one thing I want to ask, because most males, even they submit or accept those conditions because of the fact that the person they're dealing with is so toxic that I would accept these. I'll pay child support if I don't have to deal with you. How do we deal with those type of situations? Because I think a lot of men are in that position. They're that position where I'm just so that I can feel like I'm present in my child's life. I'll do that bare minimum because I can't deal with my ex.
Yeah.
I think it all boils down to the character of the man. Because
Okay.
I put up with a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I love my daughter,
Okay.
so I'm gonna put up what I have to put up
Okay.
with and pay whatever I have to pay.
Okay.
Amen.
I like that. So it's maturity and the character of that male. Are they really willing to fight
Yeah.
for their place in their child's life?
I agree with him because I had to do that myself. I had to come to a maturity myself. I mean, I was always fighting, and because maybe it was the hurt from the previous relationship that she had, or hurt because of she and I, or whatever it may be. And it's a lot of crazy stuff I had to put up with, and I said to myself, man, forget it. Just like what you were saying. I'm like, let me do this. Let me just pay the child support. You know what? I'm gonna get him when I get it. Because when I'm over there, you give me a hard time. When I'm not over there, you give me a hard time. That's what we got to go through. Some men have to go through. And you're like, man, is it worth it? And then you say your child, yeah, the child is worth it. But when you're right in the mix of it, and you don't have that maturity, like you said, so you just like, man, throw my hands up. Maybe I get to see him every once in a while, and then you're hoping for that little,
Okay.
Yeah.
rather than that consistency.
Right.
And so you'll settle for that little rather than that consistency because all hell is there.
Yeah.
And that's what it was with me. But as I got older and my son got older, I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna still do it. I'm gonna still go over there. Hey, I'm gonna deal with him. I'll have to deal with you. If you got something to say, okay, I'll let you say it. Okay, but I'm gonna give my son. This is what we're gonna do according to what the system says we need to do. Okay, every other Saturday, every other weekend. This is what I'm gonna do. But I'm not gonna let you say something in the middle of the week to deter me from coming over there on the weekend. Because that's what she wanted to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, and so to draw the wedge between me and my son, and so she can say he's not there anyway.
He's a deadbeat.
Yeah.
He
Don't
deadbeat.
care
You know
about
what's
you.
so
Don't love
sad
you.
Yeah.
that I witnessed? When you do have fathers who intentionally want to be there and is there, it seems like they get the most crap from the women than from men who barely is there, and those women like give them a hand clap when they barely do something every once in a while. Like, to me, that is so crazy how you have men who are there present and want to be there, and the women get in the way of that.
Right.
But then there's so many other women who are not blessed in that moment. I won't even say blessed because it's not a thing in that manner, but fortunate to be able to have that type of support, and co-parenting support. And I never got that men who really want to be there get the most crap. you know, and have the hardest challenges with just trying to be a father, you know.
'Cause
So
they're
can you?
hurt.
Yeah, and
I say
it
hurt, and then
penetrates the relationship.
It's again, it's one of those a habit forming thing. Your mom was a single parent, and that's how they treated. And so now when you try to go get your man, your mom and them speaking in your ear, talking about you don't need that, you don't need this, you don't need that. But I think
be independent.
yeah,
You don't need a man to do nothing.
yeah, it's a
for you.
generational thing like that. It's been
Yeah.
so engraved into their fabric of who they are as people that if a good man did show up because they never seen what a good man looks like, they don't accept it.
Listen.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
just like
Come on.
that
That's
same
good.
thing, that same thing.
Or if a good
but
woman came,
society,
vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah.
society perpetuated
Yeah.
it on
Yeah.
TV, and so they see it on TV
Yeah,
too. And
yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, I'm gonna get this money, man, but yeah, he ain't gonna be there. I don't want him there, you know. I don't, and it's so, man, it just don't make me feel good
Right.
when it's like that.
Dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Dysfunctional.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
And yeah,
unhealthy.
all of it. So I get what you're saying on that end because we literally went to the courthouse
Wow.
and he put himself on child support.
Mhm.
So I said, if that's what you want to do, it's totally up to you,
Right.
whatever
Right.
it is.
Mhm.
So the fact that somebody would put themselves on it and not pay it, I mean, that, like I said,
That's-
it wasn't even my decision.
It
but
was
that's how
probably
it-
like, I'm gonna go do it before you go do it type thing.
Or is
Or he didn't want to deal with you.
Right, and
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
what
that
I
was
was saying,
upsetting.
and I
Yeah.
totally understand that.
Yeah.
But then growing and learning,
Yeah.
it's not about me. It's
And
not. It's the kid.
And I don't
It's
think he
not-
did. It's not that he wanted to do with you. I don't think he really had intents to really go forward with child support. I think he was trying to get ahead of the ball. Like,
That's what
I
I'm
want to
saying.
shut you up.
So
I'm gonna
I
do
was
this.
raised to be taught, like, not to depend on anybody to do anything for me, to be independent, to go take care of myself. Like, just don't depend on people. So I don't know if that's like a culture thing. Do you all feel like that is only in our culture? Is, you know, other minority groups? Is it like that? Like, how does that affect you being a single parent? Do you have that mentality like, I'm not going to depend on nobody to do anything for me? You know?
It's not the independence in that sort of way. It's like I have to do it, so this is what I'm doing. My mom, I was raised by a single parent mother as well. My father wasn't in the picture, so I'm just doing what I seen, mirroring what I seen. But yeah, I didn't sign up for this. So if it's in our culture, I definitely believe that.
And I think it does date back. If we want to go back to slavery times, our forefathers were taken out of the home. The wife was sold, and only thing they knew of was taking care of the home. And that was their sole responsibility. They provided for the house, whatever it looked like. If they had to go wash dishes, clean floors, do laundry, the female did that for the house because the male wasn't present. And so as we have progressed in a generation, we just switched to cotton fields we work.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's deep.
I mean, we do. We just switched how it looks. So the men is still doing the same thing. They're making children, being sold off to another job, while mom is still taking care of home. Whatever that looks like.
Right.
It hasn't. The dynamics haven't changed. We're just in a different age.
Yeah.
So can we go back like to what she's saying though? So just real quick, and let's go forward. So what she's saying is that, you know, you make it sound like, you know, okay, I'm on that independent team. What you're trying to tell her is, I'm not on that independent team. I'm doing this independently, but I'm not on
Not
that
by
team.
choice.
I didn't.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I didn't choose
it's
that.
Not, it's not by
When you
choice.
said choice,
Not by
that's
choice,
what
it's
made
by
me think
choice.
about team. So okay,
Yeah.
I'm choosing to be on this team. No, it's not a team. I'm just doing it independently because I have to.
You have to.
Don't y'all love this American language where we can be saying the same things, but we have two different meanings behind it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just want to. I didn't sign up.
She said, I didn't sign
My
up for
name
this.
is not on that list, but
Yes.
it's to be doing what I have to do.
Right.
So I do have a team around me, so I
Right.
do have help,
Right.
and I'm open to it at all times. I'm raising a 15-year-old son by myself,
Yeah.
so that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, I go out to the schools, the principal's
Right.
office. I'm texting. I have everybody's number, the
Mm-hmm.
police department, the fire rescue, just for resources to help
Right.
mentor
Right.
him and show him
Wow.
things. So I'm doing the best of what I know how to do with what I have, but yeah, the independent, I think that comes that in this ride or die. Like, where do we get that from?
Yeah.
That we have to be, no,
Right.
not absolutely.
Listen,
I don't
I'm not
have
down
to.
for nobody
No,
to do this.
at all.
Jesus.
At all.
I ain't got a heaven or hell to put me in. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's
I didn't sign up
it's
for
a
that
culture
either.
thing.
See, I was raised by a single mama too, but like the dynamics of my relationship, it wasn't that. It was just a failed relationship. So,
Okay.
so I really can't. I agree with that, but I didn't have that experience.
Uh-huh.
But I was raised by a single mother.
So let me ask you this, because I hear this all the time. Do you feel like a single mother, your mom, is able to raise a man? Because, you know, you hear this saying, single women can't raise men. You can't raise a mother can't raise a man, a boy, to be a man.
I don't think a single parent can, either a man or a woman can raise a man to be a man. I think it takes two. Because it's stuff that my mom tried to instill in me that like I still have problems with to this day. Because you know, it's like when women normally raise a black boy, they normally be soft, and my mama didn't want that for me. And like now, like I have a problem expressing myself because I ain't had that luxury.
Yeah.
So it'd be hard for me to like really express my feelings.
So she had to take on both roles as being the disciplinary plus the nourish. Well, was the nourisher part?
She did her best, but my mama had me when she was a kid herself. So like, you just gotta grow and learn, and you can't. You know, she did what she had to do.
Right.
So I hear you say that it takes both parents to raise a child. So the answer to my question is no, you don't feel like a single mother can raise a boy to be a man.
No.
Okay, so the same as you don't feel like a single mother can raise a girl to be a woman. Do you feel the same? Or is it different based on gender?
I feel like it's different based on gender.
So you do feel like a single mother can raise a girl to be a woman, but you don't feel like a mother can raise a boy to be a man. Why is that?
Because it's a different experience for males and females. And like being black, we already got a lot of hurdles to, you know, like you gotta dodge the police, you dodge in the streets, there's a lot of stuff we gotta dodge.
So would you say that it only takes two to raise a boy to be a man and not a girl to be a woman?
I think it takes two parents to raise any gender of any kid, period.
Yeah, so what would be the importance of having the two?
Because they both bring different qualities to the table that the kid needs for life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
And
agree.
that's why I believe, to your point, what you're saying that I'm in total agreement with is you need both parents, both child, regardless of that gender, they need both of their parents because they are going to get different things from them to help shape and mold them. Just like a young girl one of the main things that I personally know that the importance of her father so she can understand what it's like to experience how a man's supposed to treat you.
Absolutely.
You know, and then from the guy's standpoint on how to treat a woman, those nourishing qualities that, you know, they get from their mother, that helps them as they go out in relationships.
Yeah.
And that's why when some parents try to take one or the other out the equation, it's like you're only hurting your child of what they're needing at the end of the day.
And generations to come, because now you have created a generational habit.
Yeah.
And everything is passing down from one generation to another until someone decides, I'm gonna unlearn this dysfunction
Yeah.
and heal and move forward.
And so, I don't like the word dysfunction because nobody's dysfunctional. I like to say displaced emotions. When I understand when you displace those emotions, you can heal and grow because nobody operates out of dysfunctional. You just have some emotions that are not placed properly. But to kind of keep us on topic with this male and female type of role, what the mom and the dad can add to the picture, we always say representation is important. And this is a disclaimer, I don't care what lifestyle you lead, but for men, we need a male to be present so that we know how to carry ourselves as male, how to handle ourselves as male. Especially in the black culture, and you say we have certain hurdles, there's certain expectations that we have to face that a man can only teach from their experience. I don't care if you go put your little dress on, go do you, but there's some things that only that man's gonna bring you. And if mom's only present, only thing you're gonna see is the characteristics of how mom carry herself.
Yeah.
We're not looking at the ways of how mom produce, looking at how mom dress, her mannerisms. So that's what that's what we take on, our mannerisms that a female can't give a man. Same thing when it comes to a male raising a daughter. The daughter's taking on your mannerisms. She's not looking at, I need to have prim and proper with a nice heel.
Right.
She's looking at, I gotta be tough, I gotta carry stuff. So that's why she come out like a tomboy instead of a feminine person, because now I'm taking on dad's mannerisms. So that's why we need the equal balance of both, because I'm taking on mannerisms and behaviors. So that's where it comes to having the balance. Yes, mom can do both, but mom, you only giving half of the picture based on what type of gender child you're raising.
Because it takes two to create a child, and it takes two
Boom,
to
bam.
raise a
Come on.
So, but
That's why it takes a man and a woman to produce life. You know, just keeping it. That's the only thing that produces life.
So what you're saying that it takes both parents to give the child the identity that they need
to balance them out.
Yeah,
It's the identity that they're looking for,
Right.
because they're looking at the mother, then they're looking at the father, and they can and as they mature, they can say, okay, this is who I am. This is my father.
Right.
This is a man. This is my mother. And that's a good thing.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
a
identity-
It's distinctive too, because
it gives them-
it gives like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Females, because we're thinking that in society we're so role driven that we try to put roles on children. Well, female only do dishes, female only do laundry. And that's not the truth, because now when I become an adult and I gotta wash my own dishes and gotta do my own laundry,
There ain't no females around. Who finna do it?
so that's where it's not.
Hey,
That's
they
why
gonna get them fruit flies.
that's
up
why
there.
we see that's why we see the long-lasting fruit mannerism. Why does your son walk with a little twist? Because that's not the mom's role. She's pulls out the self-expression.
Yes.
The male toughens up the guy.
Yeah.
They're the stern ones. So
Roles,
now,
there we
so
go,
when
roles
the
again.
roles.
Yeah.
So when you come to communicate, it's like, because only I heard was you can't do, you can't
Yeah.
do, and
So
people.
what can I do?
So people ask why you shutting down? Why you shutting down?
Yeah.
Because I was told I couldn't.
Right.
I want to, but
I don't know how.
And that's something big that I learned going through counseling with my kids is I have what I have and what I'm able to do, and I realize there are bits and pieces and parts that were needed from him that are not there. So that's why I pull in my resources, my village, my every the male aspect, so that my son can see. Because as a female raising a 15-year-old son, I can't show you how to tie a bow tie. I can't show you how to do your hair. Or I can show you, but I don't know. He doesn't. It's not mirrored. He doesn't see that on a daily. So I place those things in front of him to show him the best way. So I do believe that you can raise a man, but you can't teach. I can't teach him how to
be a man.
Right.
There we go.
Right.
Yes.
And I agree with that point, because it wasn't until I got an urgency in high school that I began to see the representation of what a male was supposed to be. And I'm not betting that you can't get it from your church, but I didn't receive it from my church. Only thing I got from the males in my church was you shouldn't be doing. Never showed me how to do it. They told me what I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
So I love my church, and I love whatever spirituality you are. I love it, great. But I didn't receive it from that environment. But so I had the avenue. And my mama, she was just like you. She put us out there. Go. And that's where I received what I needed. Tying a tie, what it was like to function like, and I had the support from my instructors that just embrace family. This is what family is like. This is how you care for your family.
And the counseling helped me too, because even though you're saying, okay, you could not express, or your mom shut down that. It should have been, this is not how you do it, or don't do it like I do it, but there is a way to do it. So we're going to figure out a better way to do it. Because when my son is actually coming out in anger, that's his way
that's
of
all my pain turned into anger.
Right. So trying to reverse that, to say, not that you can't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want you crying. That's not, this is what mama does. So there is a way to do it, to express it, to release it. Let's figure out how is a better, healthier avenue for that.
That's good. Well, we going to come back and pick back up on this. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Order in the Chaos.
As we travel through life, there are times we all could use a little help. However, as we search for the help we need, there are times we find ourselves at dead ends, stuck in the maze of life. With so much going on around us, moments like these may cause you to ask, who can you trust? Who can you believe in? Who can you depend on to provide real-life solutions that have been proven to turn you into a better you?
Welcome back to Order in the Chaos. Prior to us going on break, we were talking about just the single father, single mother aspect of the relationships and such. But we do have a question, one of the other questions we got from the social media world, and one of that is, when one of the parents is on child support, what is expected? So we'll start with you on that, Marlon.
Well, I'm on child support, but like I said, I believe all of this depends on like the character of the man or the person that you're dealing with. Because I pay child support, and I still be buying my daughter whatever she needs. Because I didn't get that until I was grown. I wasn't able to get no joy until I was grown, and that stuff matter. Like it's stuff that I still remember from when I was little that I still haven't let go. And I don't really want that for her, so I do what I gotta do.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, so being that you do pay child support, and I understand with the fact of your daughter's feelings and emotions trump a lot of things, but with that, knowing you still have a thought though.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that by you paying, and let's say for example, you see a pattern with your daughter not having the things she needs, and you know, like, hey, you know, you getting enough support where those things should be cared for, you know, as well. What would, in your mindset, what would that look like for you? You know, I understand you still do what you have to do, but the initial thought, you know, if that was the situation with it, not saying that it is, but if it was.
Well, it was a little rocky in the beginning, but I believe everything just takes time, and we both needed time to heal, because I was her first everything, and she was my first everything.
Yeah, okay.
So once we got our feelings out the way, it was what Emery needed, what's important for Emery, which is my daughter.
Okay.
So you trust that she puts the child support money that you give her.
Wait a minute, you said child support? It really ain't child support. I think we should say petty cash.
Oh, well, be petty then. Be petty. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
That depends on what you make though, because it's based on your income.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I know people with 5 kids who don't pay what I pay.
Okay.
But at the same instance, it's ways to maneuver around that, you know, with fake check stubs and putting other stuff, businesses, and other people's names. We're not gonna go there. So we're gonna rewind.
Did she say put in pay stubs and in people other names? Okay.
Yeah, they put. You don't know.
I don't know
this
that part.
happens in real life.
Okay.
They put stuff in other people's names, business and stuff. They act like they don't have no money. They ain't got no properties. They ain't got no cars. They ain't got no business. All the time they over here living it up, but they want to send $100 for child support.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Yeah, that's the petty cash. You know, and then
the character of the person.
exactly, and then I want to do anything extra outside of that. But back to that. Sorry. Woosah. But back to that. So you trust that she puts your child support, thank you, towards your child.
Yeah.
But you obviously realize that it might not be enough to get everything that your daughter needs or some of the things that you want. So you go outside the above and beyond what the state minimum says that you're supposed to pay.
Exactly.
I love it.
Okay, so I got a question, a challenge, because we actually had a conversation about this with some ladies that had a similar mindset like that, of the one you were just sharing with. And then it was reversed. It was saying, so what if the child stayed with their father full time and you still had to maintain what you did? What would be your expectations in that? So you still would send the father the income and then also pay for whatever additional. Is it the same mindset across the board, or is it just because this is the spectrum in that moment?
I believe it should be the same mindset,
Yeah.
but we don't veer from the men having the child, the male having the child in their home, and the female supporting the male. For some reason, we think that's odd and unusual, and it should only be one way. But you should do it.
Yeah.
If you don't have the child, you should pay the child support, and if there's anything extra, you should want to go be over and beyond and do that. I think that's just healthy and right.
Yeah.
But in actuality, we do not do that.
Yeah.
Because even if the child has a child if the male has a child full time, we expect the male to take out a little offering.
Yeah.
And still provide anything extra that they might want. And
to
you're
your
not
point,
obligated.
That's what some of the ladies said. It was like, oh, wait a minute, like, cause like you said, it wasn't a thought. Like, it got quiet.
And if you don't do it, it's like, okay, go get another job.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's the expression for the male. Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you any more.
I don't have it. I'm only giving you what I'm required, and I'm not like that's. I think that's a stance that females take when we flip the switch.
Yeah.
Not saying y'all play on the stage because I know y'all females. I don't want y'all coming for me outside in the car, but other people outside this room.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that when it comes down to the support of the child on a financial aspect, that both parents should be able to have a conversation and get an understanding of what works for that. And not just from the standpoint of what I feel I need, because at the same time, you got two adults who have two separate lives. And sometimes, like I know some individuals who were paying child support and then they lost their income and that expectation was still in place, and then everything else went downhill with that person. Is like, but they still could be there for their kid just because they're in a financial slump.
Hardship.
And I feel like, you know, in that situation, some type of grace should be given, whether it's the mother or the father, because the income is now gone. But a lot of people don't care about that.
Right.
Give me what's due to me, and that's what I'm based on. And I think a lot of times, because the child support, instead of it being there to help in addition to what you already doing, that people build a lifestyle based off of what they are getting on child support. So their income, their household is impacted when that household is impacted, and it really shouldn't be that way, to be honest.
And I want to say, if we can just add this dynamic to the conversation, most people, when they are at the level of asking or receiving child support, are not even in a healthy space to really be managing their family anyways. Because it's a tit for tat type of game when child support is involved.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you're not even really thinking about the child at all. You're thinking about how I'm going to get back at him because you gave me these children. We made these children.
Hey.
And it's all communication, because I feel like if this was communicated prior to, you wouldn't even need the system in place.
Yeah.
Come on.
Absolutely.
You're
Come
doing.
on.
Absolutely.
Because when we first got into it, $183 a month for 2 kids, baby, that's you do that. That's a flight somewhere. I mean, that's petty cash.
Petty cash.
That's
So
part-time
the-
job at the grocery store. You didn't even put that
That
in
ain't even part-time job. That's just the gas to get to the grocery store.
Right.
You know, so I think it's all, and that's the shackles being placed from one place to another, because then you have the aspect too, when they're on child support, the father can't live in the household, or you know, different things like that. So the system is set up to separate, to divide,
and keep
all
you
of
bound. Like
divide and conquer.
and it makes you expect that. Like it's like, I can't go. You're not trying to educate yourself. You're not trying to better yourself.
Absolutely.
Like you get stuck in the space of another shackle. You sold the cotton field for another cotton field.
Absolutely.
So what do you guys, I have a question. What do you guys think about a parent who stops the child from seeing the other parent because they're not getting the money that they feel that they should get?
They're in a hurt place trying to hurt the other person. They're not thinking about the kid.
Right.
And then again, that's a conversation because when you go to court, because my court paper says I need to see my child.
Right.
And if I have to honor that right, you're gonna have to honor your right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
see, but for me, like I was battling other stuff, like that didn't have nothing to do with that case. So
Okay.
like, and me, I don't like going to court, period, because
Okay.
what I come from and the clock I'm cut from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even though like I would want to, it wouldn't be something that I would be
You
just
doing.
doing.
Okay.
Too, you know,
Yeah.
So you're saying you because of that you accepted certain things.
except in certain
Okay.
things that I shouldn't have to.
Okay.
Wow.
Because you don't even want
Because
to
you don't
deal
know
with
that.
that
You did
whole
hold
thing.
it.
Wow.
Well, and that's the
That's deep.
thing too, though. He can have that mindset.
Yeah.
But that don't mean that other person, but yours is okay. Will not put him in the system.
Right.
He can accept whatever he wants to.
Yeah.
And then, you want me to pay $4,000 for child support. You want me to be over there half of the time, get the child. But if that other person is not in agreement with that, and they want more, and they can go and they're able to go get more, then it's not going to work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in a good place with co-parenting with the child. But when people are hurt like that, and people are trying to get at one another about that, I'm gonna get everything I need from you. I'm gonna rape you dry, or whatever you want to say. It's just like, just that's what I'm gonna do.
No, that's me.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just where it is, and people are that sadistic, so they want what they want. So it ain't always like that.
It's all
Yeah.
growth.
I agree with that too, but it do take a lot of growth because we're in a good place right now.
Yeah.
My daughter's 5. It took a long time.
Yeah.
So with that mentality, those that are still in the petty lane, pulling from the bucket that ain't got no money inside of it, but they're not spending it on the child. Like that, I think that's my concern. Where you're going to court, you're asking for these increases and these expectations, but you seen a child looking like Boo Boo the Fool, but you driving a Lexus, your hair's done, you got the latest outfit in the bag, but your child got some shoes that came from I don't know where.
Yeah.
They borrowed from somebody.
From Payless.
Yeah.
No, they from the thrift store bottom shelf list.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
well, let me say this, because you can't always assume that she's buying that stuff with the child support money. What if she got somebody on the side tricking? Like, I'm just saying, you
So,
never
okay.
know. Somebody could be.
So I won't say her lifestyle is beneficial of the check, but what's happening to the child's care? Because it's evident that the child's not being cared
Because
for.
$183 petty cash ain't enough to get them $200 Jordans.
Well, my thing is
So
this.
there we go.
Look, if the child is the child, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so if she over there tricking, why can't she still keep her child?
No, I
So-
said
She
somebody
making
tricking
sure
on
herself is
her.
right.
But
She, right,
so-
Same thing, but she getting the money.
But no, but
That-
so this is what I say. So yet again, it goes to she don't have financial responsibility because if I'm only getting 183 and that's for me to care for you, baby, you can't get no Jordans.
Facts.
So that I think is if that's the case, it's
Yeah.
financial responsibility because baby, yeah, you want that and you aspire to do so,
Right.
but we don't have that in our bank account.
Right.
Now I can go over here. We can go over to Paylist and I can give you some nice close lookalikes.
Yeah.
I mean, my issue is I can make you look decent with $183, regardless of what I'm getting. I can still make sure you look decent.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna send you out looking any kind of way.
Like you don't have any.
Right, and that's where even
Too small clothes and
yeah,
stuff like
even
that.
if you do have your boo on the side, your baby is going out of here and you're getting petty cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the issue I have when we are having these governmental entities involved in our lives and we're not providing for the child. That means somebody else needs to get involved and question your parenting skills.
Yeah.
Because you have the other parent that's not in the house with you contributing, but the child's not leaving the house looking like somebody's even caring for them.
Nor do you want him in there trying to tell you how to spend the money. So what is
the check and balancing, yeah.
with that?
That's. I
Yeah.
think it's about that communication, and I think that's the struggle because most people don't have the communication
Yeah,
in
that's very
place.
true.
Yeah.
But I feel like people will have more peace in their co-parenting if people were to be open and courageous enough to have those hard conversations and hear from one another genuinely to figure out what's best for us. Not what's going on over there, or any of that. Okay, you got your household, I got my household. How can we make this work?
And I think
See, that's the problem because you got one person trying to dictate what goes on in another person's household, and that can't happen.
and I think that's the issue.
So we're separated. We have two separate households. Yes, we have a child together in common, but you can't say, okay, I'm giving you $183. This is how I want you to spend it on. I want you to put $20 on a rent, $20 on a light bill, and then go buy $50 for some shoes. You can't do that.
Right.
Because child support is child support. You don't get to tell the other parent how to spend the money. And that's the part that I understand, like, okay, you're giving money, but your child is looking a hot mess, but the baby mama's looking great, fabulous. But again, you can't even assume.
Right.
You don't know where she's getting that money from, who's
Right.
taking care of her. And I get it. There's people out here that's like that. My whole thing is that if you feel that the money is not being spent properly, then just do what you need to do. You don't have to go and say, I need receipts. Show me what you spent the money on, or I'm not giving you nothing else. That's not okay.
Yeah. I think it really boils down to maturity, and even like Marlene said, out of the experience when you're hurt and you're grown and with a child's involved, it's just going to take time. And I think giving that each part of that space to grow, even though they don't grow, some of them don't, but it's giving that space to grow. It's giving that space to grow, and I think that because we get our feelings get hurt repetitively, we get stuck. And I think at the end of the day, it's really that our conversation should only be about that child and the care of that child, not what's going on in your house, how you living your life.
Yeah.
Anytime it gets away from the child, I think the conversation needs to end.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
I agree as well.
Yeah. Well, I got another question. So, when you're dealing with your kid and you're understanding that one household is a certain mentality and then the other house is a certain one, and let's say that parent don't agree with the other parent lifestyle or mindset, how do you deal with that, being that you are parenting but not in that home 100%? Like, what would you do if you don't agree with that person? What's the steps you would take?
I haven't come to that issue yet, but for me, like, I just haven't come to that issue yet because my child's mother take care of her. She does a pretty good job, but I haven't came there yet, so I can't speak on that.
Okay.
Recently, like I said, my kid's father just took my son for about a month, about 6 weeks. And we actually have ran into a situation where I had training set up for him, spoke to his girlfriend, and tried calling him. She okayed it, but it became an issue because I said that they can go when they supposedly said they couldn't. It was other people in the car that heard her say that he can go. So it caused conflict conflict with the father because he wasn't there, he didn't answer the phone, but she okayed it. So at the end of the day, it did come back on my son, which I told him that it wasn't his issue. That was something that, we decided, and then talking to her. But speaking with my son, he was hurt about it. But when I talked to him, I just let him know, you know what, everything is good. He understands and he knows how I raise him, how I discipline, and he knows my character. So he knows that I would not have told him to go somewhere without permission. I don't allow that. So knowing on their end there was some lack of communication or whatever happened, we just let that be that. Like that he understands the two different dynamics of how their house is raised and what's going on over there, and then how ours is. So he knows, he's at the age to where he knows, okay, this was, lack of communication somewhere or something like that. And we just let that be that.
And I think on the adult level, is communicating even with that other parent. The adults come together and say, well, in my house, these are our rules, this is how we function, these are our boundaries, what I will allow, don't allow. Because at the end of the day, that child is transferring into two different environments. So when I communicate my rules, you don't have to respect me, you don't have to like them, but when your child's over here, this is what we do. And then when the child goes over in your house, I might not like what you do in your house, but that's your house. But I'm from an adult perspective, I'm going to communicate what's allowed, not allowed over here, and we can have that conversation. But I think that's where I would handle it, or I would tell a family with their children how to handle it. But that's adults communicating. So even when you communicate with a child, well, I know you're going back over here, and you might have to do it that way over there, but over here we don't do things like that.
Right.
So the child knows, they know boundaries when they come to your house. So it's respect on both sides.
Right.
And so it's not, and you're not telling them to go to dismiss what they're learning over there. But when you come over here, this is what we do.
You feel like that's creating
good.
multiple personalities because they know that when they hit that door, they gotta undo everything that they learned over there, and like, okay, let me switch back. Like,
I would say
is that healthy?
It's healthy because think about it. When you go from job, when you go to work, you act and respond a certain way. When you go home, you act and respond a certain way. When you go to court, you act and respond a certain way. When the cop pull you over, you act and respond a certain way. So that's more personality. We all got some things going on. But I think it's a condition on how to carry you as a person. In whatever environment I'm in, I have to act or respond a certain way. So it's conditioning that person as I grow and get older. I had to switch up. What they say, what you got, your flip flop.
Yeah. It's almost like just respecting the environment that you're going into.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been really great, you guys. I really hope that, as always, those who are watching, that you got something from this, from a single father's perspective and a single mother's perspective. And till next time, we will catch you here on Order in the Chaos. You can go follow us on all social media platforms at Order in the Chaos. If you have any questions that you would like to submit to us, definitely send them in. Or if you would like to be a guest, send them in to us. Until next time, thank you for tuning in.